complete silence. I'm suffering from throat infection, so don't make me shout much now. Maintain silence. And be attentive. I had taken leave in the morning BCom batches so that I can teach in 11 and 12. So, let it be fruitful now. Be attentive. What is dissolution of partnership firm? Simply the firm comes to an end. The business gets over. Two main reasons may be responsible. One, the firm is incurring loss for past many years. They mutually decide that they should close the business now. So firm comes to an end. Second and most probable reason generally happens in partnership firm: disputes. 3 or 4 partners, disputes arise, consensus is not there. So they may not continue the business now in the same manner. Otherwise, even if there is profit with disputes, it will get converted into loss. So dispute is the second reason why the firm may go into dissolution. But basically, there is a difference in, listen carefully, dissolution of, silence. There is a difference between dissolution of partnership and dissolution of partnership firm. How the two are different, understand that first. Okay, how is dissolution of partnership different from dissolution of partnership firm? Suppose Pooja, Parikh and Shivang. Silence everyone. Suppose Pooja, Parikh and Shivang are the partners of a firm and dispute arises between these two people. Okay. Now, silence. Both of them want to get separated from the firm. And Shivang, the next person. Now, Shivang finds that business is profitable. So many years we three made efforts and reached to a level. Because of two people's dispute, why should I suffer? He says, both of you get out. I will continue the business. Then this is called dissolution of partnership. Does the firm come to an end? No. The firm does not come to an end. Business still continues. But partnership gets dissolved. From partnership firm, it becomes proprietorship firm. So it is called dissolution of partnership. Is everyone clear with this? So what is dissolution of partnership? When all partners except one, all partners except one get dissolved. Means except one, all other partners take exit and one partner continues the business. So from partnership firm it becomes sole proprietorship firm and partnership gets dissolved. Yes, if any one partner takes an exit, let us say Shivang takes an exit, retires, and Pooja and Parikh continue the business, then it is not dissolution of partnership, that is retirement of partner. We studied in last chapter also. Partnership still continues. Partnership is still there. Instead of 3 people, now it's between 2. So that is not dissolution of partnership. Okay. And what happens here? Business continues. Business continues to exist. Are you all clear with it? So example is special case of retirement or silence, death of a partner. Why special case I say? Such a case where except when all partners retire or die. So we have done so many questions of retirement or death, but we did not come across a single question where partnership got converted into sole proprietorship. Those cases are not dissolution of partnership. Or else, suppose there are only two partners, A and B. B wants to exit. Then that partnership gets converted into? That is retirement also, but special case of retirement where there is also dissolution of partnership. So here what happens is partnership gets converted into sole proprietorship form and business still continues. And here all partners get dissolved. All the three, suppose the business is incurring into losses, or let us say there is a dispute between all the three, and all the three now say that we don't want to see each other's face, let us wind up the business. So here all the partners get dissolved and business also discontinues. Business winds up, business ceases to exist. Is everyone clear with this? So this is the basic difference between dissolution of partnership and dissolution of partnership. Any doubts with that? What we are going to study in this chapter is dissolution of partnership. Note it down. So anyone who is not clear with the dissolution of partnership or partnership firm, in partnership firm the business comes to an end, and in partnership business continues, and basically in dissolution of partnership, partnership gets converted into sole proprietorship. And remember, not all the cases of retirement and death are dissolution of partnership. Those cases only where all partners take exit except one will be dissolution of partnership. Any confusions?
No, sir.
Raise your hand, is still writing it?
She is either not letting me write. Writing fast.
Now, what's the procedure of dissolution? Understand, it's a very simple procedure. See, very first, when the firm gets dissolved, Yes, silence now. Very first, when the firm gets dissolved, they will sell all their assets. Now, this is not necessary. If partner is interested, he may, any one of the partners or more than one partners, may take over certain assets also. Like suppose in PPS firm, there is BMW car. And Shivang says, I'll take it over. I don't want to sell that car. You can take little more also, but I'll take over that car. So some of the assets may even be taken over by partners, and that money will be adjusted from his capital. So basically the step one is sale of assets. Whatever assets they have in the business, now they are getting dissolved. So they sell all those assets. But in that procedure, some assets may be taken over by partner also. Step 2, they will make the payments. But when they make the payments, they have to follow certain priority order. Priority order means first they have to pay for dissolution expenses. First priority. Dissolution expenses may be legal expenses. When you get the firm dissolved, certain legal procedure is required. For that, expenses will also be required, lawyers' fees and other expenses, legal expenses may be involved, stamp duty, etc. And dissolution expense also means one more thing. How will they sell the assets? Pooja, how will you sell your firm's assets? What will you do to sell the assets? Auction. Okay, Parik? Silence. Online. Shiva? Request your friend to purchase. Rushdi will purchase. Okay. Anyway, all the three are assets, correct? But generally what happens is when you want to sell your assets, you may require, like you said, OLX. You may require to give advertisement in newspapers also. You may give advertisement in newspapers, or you may hire agents and you may give them commission. That if you sell the assets, will give you the commission, certain percentage of that assets. They are also covered in dissolution expense. Suppose you want to sell your building of 50 lakhs, but you don't have money right now. So you go to the newspaper agency and say that we want to give advertisement. That advertisement costs you 2,000 rupees. Now you can tell them that right now we don't have the money, but as soon as the building is sold, very first will pay you. And you have to very first pay to them. Because of their efforts only the building is sold. So dissolution expenses includes all those expenses, and they have to be paid very first in the order of priority before paying to anyone else. Is everyone clear with this? Second priority will be external liabilities. First, you will pay for outside liabilities. Whatever outside liabilities are there, creditors, provident fund, all those outside liabilities will be paid first. Then you will pay partner's loan. Lot of noise is coming in between, maintain silence. If any partner has given any loan to the firm, then that loan should be paid before paying the capital to any of the partners. Because that loan is extra money which the partner has given. Now here, partner's wife's loan is one important point. Suppose Shivang's wife, Shivangi, has given a loan of 10 lakhs to the firm. Now the question arises, when should that partner's wife loan amount should be paid? Now, two things are possible. One, Shivang's wife, Shivangi is housewife. She doesn't have any wealth of her own. She doesn't have any source of income. So basically, Shivang has just fooled Pooja and Parekh. He is giving his own money only in the business, but in the name of his wife's loan, so that he can get some interest from them. He is giving money from his own wealth, but he is saying my wife is giving loan in our hard times, so we'll have to pay her interest of 10%. So that is loan in the name of wife, but wealth of Shivang is only used. Here, will pay it as partners loan. Means now when Pooja and Parekh come to know that it is his wealth only, they may argue that your wife is housewife, she doesn't have any money only. Then how did she give the loan? Now our firm is getting dissolved. It is as good as your loan. So we will pay it only after external liabilities. And suppose Shivang's wife, Shivangi is also a working partner. She is employed somewhere. She is also earning enough of money. And she really gave 10 lakhs from her wealth only. Then you will treat it as external liability and pay it before paying any partners. Understood that point? If nothing is mentioned in the question, then we will assume that she has paid money from her own wealth and will treat it as external liability. Okay. And after paying partners loan, we will pay partners capital. So this is the order of priority to be followed when the firm goes into dissolution. Very logical order. First you will sell the assets. Whatever money you recover, first you'll pay dissolution expense, then you'll pay external liability, then you'll pay partners loan, and then you'll pay partners capital. Any confusion in that? Let it know. Did you all understand this? Anyone having any doubt? No. As a note you will write. Raise your hand who is still writing it. So write down the note. Give the heading to the note. Partners, wives, loan. See, we generally talk about partners, wives, loan only because majority question will be on male partners, but the same rule apply on female partners, husbands also. Okay, so normally you have partners, wife, loan, but if it is female partners, then same rule applies on female partners, husband. Did you give the heading partners, wives, loan? Yes. Now below the head, if it is given from her personal wealth, then it will be paid along with external liability. Okay, and next paragraph. If it is given from her husband's wealth, then it will be treated as partner's loan. It will be treated as partner's loan after external liabilities. Now, which accounts we have to open? Understand that? In the books of accounts, which accounts to be opened for resolution? See, like in last 2 chapters, we have been making revaluation account. You'll make realization account here. There is no revaluation account here, there is realization account. And lot of noise is coming. And there are obvious reasons for calling it as realization. Like first you sell the assets, means you realize the money from sale of assets. And that realized money you use in making various payments. So the account which we open is called realization, not revaluation account. Understood that everyone? Okay, the account which we will open here is called what?
Realization.
Swear one more time now, if I see you talking, you'll be out of the class. You'll dissolve from this room. Okay? Second, we will open partners capital account. Third, we will open partners loan account. We're still talking. And last, you will make cash or bank account. Here we don't have to make any balance sheet. The firm is dissolved. The firm is over. The firm itself does not exist. So what balance sheet of that firm? And moreover, you are going to sell all the assets, pay everyone including the capital. Nothing remains in the firm. The firm gets over, balance sheet also over. We don't have to make any balance sheet. Okay? We have to make only realization account, partners capital account, partners loan account and cash out. Now, for doing this whole procedure, there are only 15 journal entries. Only 15 journal entries. Trust me, after the lecture is over, you will also say only. They are very simple, and if you are attentive, all of you will remember that 15 entries right now. Okay? Now, from board exams paper point of view, you will have 1 mark question in section A. Yes. 1 mark question in section B. Now if I find talking road, 15 entries into 100 is how much? 1500. Remember that. Last 2 benches make lot of noise in between. You talk a lot in between. Section A will have 1 question of 1 mark. Section B will have 1 line answer of 1 mark. And section D will have 2 questions of 3 marks. So 6, 7, 8. Admission and retirement have 9 marks weightage, but 8 marks single long question and 1 mark MCQ or section B. But here also weightage almost instead of 9, 8 marks. But for admission and retirement, almost 10-12 days we took each. This will be over in 3 days and you'll get 8 marks for that. Because it doesn't have a long question in board exams. However, we will be doing 1 long question tomorrow of all 15 entries. Because in your first term exams, to make a question paper of 100 marks from only part 1, they'll ask 8 marks question from this chapter. So I will be taking up 1 long question tomorrow from that point of view. Plus also, if we do 1 long question of 8 marks, means 15 entries, then only you will understand this 3 marks question, how to deal with it. So even if it is not there in board exams and not going to be asked in your school exams, I will still take up one long question for understanding the concept. Is everyone clear with that?
Yes, sir.
Chapter will be over on Wednesday. Tomorrow we'll solve the long question, and then day after tomorrow we'll solve all those questions which are possible for 3 months. Is everyone clear with this? Now to understand this 15 entries, just be attentive now. Textbooks keep in the bag, they are not required in the right now. Just be attentive. Now, just be attentive and you'll remember all the 15 here itself. First of all, what is the normal format of balance sheet we have? We have capital, then we have reserves, silence and be attentive. Then we have loans. Just a minute. Within loans, we can have partners loan and we can have third party loan. Okay? Not time pass loan. Third party loan. And we can have current liabilities. Generally these items we have on liabilities side. Asset side, fixed assets, investments. In current assets, I write cash separately and other current assets separately. And you can have fictitious assets like advertisement, campaign expenditure, research and development we had in one of the questions, profit and loss accounts, debit balance on asset side. Now, out of 15 entries, first 5 entries are to close all these accounts which appear in balance sheet. Because I said the firm goes into dissolution, so these accounts will not appear now in the books of the firm. So all of them are to be closed. Out of 15 entries, 5 entries are to close all the accounts which appear in the books of the firm. Now first of all, which accounts will not get closed? These 3. They'll get closed at the end. In the beginning, will not close them. Will not close.
Capital.
Will write that amount as capital's opening balance, credit side. Will not close partner's loan. We will write it as opening balance in partner's loan on credit side. And we will not close cash. We will write it as opening balance in cash account on debit side. So these 3 accounts will not be closed. In the first 5 entry, except these 3, all other accounts will get closed. Now, as I said, how many entries you have?
15.
No, in closing these accounts, 5 entries. So what are those 5 entries? Understand it. All assets except cash will be closed and transferred to realization account. All external liabilities, this is not going to be closed. External liabilities will be closed and transferred to realization account. Understood that? And reserves, we are studying since childhood, since chapter 4, that they are transferred to partners capital account. Fictitious assets, we are studying since childhood, it will be closed and transferred to partners capital account. Okay, so how many entries I told you will be there? But these are only 4. One is to close assets, second is to close liabilities, third is to close reserves, fourth is to close. Now what one more is there? Understand it. First let me ask you a question. If in the balance sheet debtors are 40,000 minus BDR is 4,000, outer column 36,000. Debtors will be closed with what amount? Debtors will be closed with what amount? Who all said 40,000? Raise your hand. So many were saying it 40, 40, 40. Who all said 36,000? Raise your hand. And others say 4,000. Listen everyone. It will be closed with 40,000. The reason, in the ledger book, in the ledger book, like journal book, ledger book we maintain. In the ledger book, will debtors be a separate ledger account and bad debt reserve be a separate ledger account or not?
Yes.
In the ledger book, debtor will be a separate ledger account on a separate page with a balance of 40,000. Bad debt reserve will be a separate ledger account on a separate page with a balance of 4,000. If you close debtors with only 36,000, then none of the two accounts will get closed. Debtor will still carry a balance of 4,000 and bad debt reserve does not get closed only. So we have to pass two entries. We have to close debtors with full and separate entry to close bad debt reserve with 4,000. So you have two entries in assets. Therefore 5. One is the assets account, second is reserves against assets. What will that reserves against assets include? Bad debt reserve, discount reserve is possible, depreciation fund is also possible. Generally these assets reserves will be there. Bad debt reserve, discount reserve, depreciation fund. So these we will pass the reverse entry because they have opposite balance. Okay. So you have 5 closing entries. Repeat: to close assets, to close reserves against assets, to close liabilities, to close reserves, to close fictitious assets. Understood the first 5 entries to close the accounts? Now entries are very, very simple. And you are clear where to transfer which thing? Assets have what balance? Debit balance. So to close it, assets you will credit and transfer it to? So realization account. The first entry will be realization account debit to assets account. Reserves against assets will have opposite credit balance. So to close that, reverse and debit, and to realization, so reverse entry. What will be the entry to close assets? Realization account debit to assets account, and reserves against assets account debit to realization, reverse entry. Okay. Liabilities have what balance? Credit to close. So liabilities account debit to realization account. They remain same as chapter 4. Reserves account debit to partners capital account. Partners capital account debit to fictitious assets account. So out of 15, 5 entries are done. Understood that? 5 entries are to close all the accounts appearing in the balance sheet. When we are done with these 5 entries, all accounts will get closed except capital, partners, loan and cash. Okay, once again. To close assets. What is the entry? Realization account debit to assets account. Reserves against assets. Reserves against assets account debit to realization. Then liabilities. Liabilities account debit, their credit balance. Liabilities account debit to realization. Then reserves account debit to partners capital account. Partners capital account debit to fictitious assets account. Understood this portion? Now, next 6 entries out of 15, 5 plus 6, 11. Next 6 entries are in pair. They are in couple. Okay? 2 entries for assets. 2 for expense, 2 for liability. This order is to be followed. Why 2? In assets, either you'll sell the assets or taken over by partners. So 2 entries. In expense, either firm will pay or now if partner pays, then no entry. But one partner may take the responsibility of doing the dissolution process and firm may give remuneration for that, for which entry will be passed. Suppose they decide that Shivang will do all the dissolution process. So he will visit the newspapers, agents, sell the assets, meet the creditors, do the bargaining, everything he will do. And they decide for this we will give him 50,000 of remuneration for doing all this process. For that entry will be passed. But if any partner says, I'll pay the expenses from my own pocket, if it is a small amount, then no entry will be done for the same. So here assets sold and asset taken over by partner. Here expense paid by the firm, and if expense is paid by partner, then no entry. Entry will be there if partner gets remuneration for taking up the dissolution process. So 2 entries will come here also. And liability paid by the firm and liability taken over by partner. Suppose in the creditors, one of the creditor of 15,000 is of Ravlani, who is a good friend of Shivang. So Shivang says, I'll settle this liability personally. Firm need not pay the money. I'll see that outside the business personally. Means that liability of 15,000 is taken over by Shivang. Understood that? So 6 entries. Which 6? Sale of assets. Assets taken over by partner. Expense paid by the firm. Remuneration paid to the partner for dissolution process. If expense is paid by partner, no entry. Liability paid by the firm and taken over by partner. Now entries for this. Suppose you sell furniture of 10,000. Normally what entry do we pass? Cash account debit to furniture account. Is everyone clear with this? Now we cannot pass this entry. The reason? What first entry we would have passed when we closed all the assets? Realization account debit. 2 assets will include this furniture also. Means in the first entry, furniture account is already closed, credited. It does not appear only in the books. So now how can you say furniture goes out? Furniture account already gets closed in the first entry. So now we cannot credit. We will credit realization account. Understood this portion, everyone? So what will be the entry for sale of assets? Cash account debit to realization account. Why we cannot credit assets account? They are already closed in the first entry. Further, suppose furniture of 10,000 is sold for 8,000. How much is the loss? 2,000. Normally we pass the entry cash account debit 8,000. Loss account debit 2,000 to furniture 10,000. Here we will not even record the loss. It will automatically get recorded. You will simply record the selling price, cash to realization 8,000. Reason? First entry when you close the furniture, you will close it with 10,000. Then you sell it for? So cash to realization you will do with? Now realization debit 10, credit date, can I say net debit is 2,000? That is the loss in realization account. So when you sell the assets and pay the profit or loss is not to be recorded. It will automatically get recorded. Understood that? So, what is the entry to be passed for sale of assets? Cash to realization. And what is the second alternative I told you? Asset taken over by partner. Then partner is the receiver. Debit the receiver. Partner's capital account, debit. Asset goes out. Credit what goes out. But we cannot credit asset account because it is already closed. So to realization. Understood that? If you have understood this too, you have understood all the 6. For sale of assets, repeat. Cash to realization. For asset taken over by partner, partner's capital to realization. Next 4 entries are reverse of these 2. Next 4 entries are reverse of these 2. Means expense paid by the firm, reverse of the first, realization to cash. Remuneration paid to the partner, reverse of the second, realization to partner's capital. Liability paid by the firm, realization to cash. Liability taken over by partner, realization to partner's capital. So you remember all the 6. 5 and 6, 11 are over. And 12, 13, 14, 15 you don't have to remember. There is a balancing process. So all the 15 are done. That's why I said only 15. Once again, let us revise 6 to 11. Sale of assets, cash or bank to realization, taken over by partner, partner's capital to realization. Then reverse of that, expense paid by the firm, realization to cash, expense, remuneration paid to the partner, realization to partner's capital. Liability paid by the firm, realization to cash, liability taken over by partner, realization to partner's capital. Understood that? Then practically when we solve the question, what we are supposed to do is 12th, realization will be transferred to partner's capital. If there is a profit, then realization account will have credit balance. So to close it, reverse and debit to partner's capital. If it has debit balance loss, then reverse and credit, and partner's capital account debit to realization. Then before paying the capital we have to pay. So 13th entry will be for paying. No. Partner is the receiver, debit the receiver, partner's loan account debit, cash goes out, credit what goes out to cash account. Okay, partner's loan account debit to cash. And then capital will be transferred to, and cash account must tally. All accounts must get closed. But this makes how many entries? 14 only. And I said 15. If there is partner's current account also in the question, then first all adjustments will make in partner's current account. Current will be transferred to capital, and capital will be transferred to cash. So you have 15. So if current account has debit balance, then reverse and credit, and partner's capital account debit. If current account has credit balance, then reverse and debit to partner's capital account. Okay, and finally partner's capital, if it is excess and firm has to pay the money, then partner's capital account debit to cash. And if there is deficit and partner has to bring the money, then cash to partner's capital. But you don't have to bother about these entries. Simply realizations balance, you have to transfer it on partner's capital opposite side. Pay the loan. Capital's balance to be transferred to cash, and cash must pay. Understood this procedure, everyone? Any doubts on this? Now, these 15 entries are there in your textbook. So I don't make you write them. I'll make you number in the order we discussed. It's in a haphazard order. Don't take it out yet now. I'll tell you when to take it out. There are 4 important points to be remembered that you understand them first. If for any asset, tangible asset, no additional information is given, then we will assume it is sold at book value. Like furniture. Below the balance sheet, no information is given. In the balance sheet is of 10,000. We'll assume it is sold for 10,000. That's why no information is given. But for intangible assets, like goodwill, patents, trademarks, copyrights, if no additional information is given, means nothing is realized. So we'll assume it is sold at 0 value. For tangible assets, if no information is given, we'll assume it is sold at book value. Everyone stand up. 15 entries 100 times. For intangible assets, if no information is given, we'll assume it realizes nothing. And for liabilities also, suppose creditors are there 30,000 and no information is given, means we have to pay them 30,000. Zero, fantastic. Creditors are there 30,000, no information is given, means we have to pay them. So it will be paid at book value. Understood these 3 points? And fourth, suppose creditor of 30,000 takes machinery of 25,000 from the business in full settlement. He says, you give me machinery of 25,000, I don't want money, and account gets settled. No entry. If against 30 you pay them 25, is it a profit of 5 or not?
Yes.
Now what happens is, why we don't have to pass the entry. When you close the machinery, you'll write realization to machinery with 25. And when you close the creditors, you'll write creditors to realization with 30. Automatically realization credit with debit with profit of 5 automatically remains in realization. Are we selling the asset, getting any money? So we'll not get this entry. Are we paying any amount in the liability? So we'll not get any amount in this entry. In short, if you give any asset against a liability, no entry. Yes, if you make any part payment, suppose the creditor says, I take machinery of 25,000, but I also want cash 3,000, means total 28,000 in full settlement. Then how much we are paying that extra? For that entry will come payment of liability. Realization to cash 3,000. For 25,000 giving asset, no. Only for part payment the entry will come. Realization to cash. Got it everyone? So these 4 notes write down. Note 1. Write them 10 times each. All 15 entries. Sit down. And now don't talk in between. First note. If no information is given, regarding tangible assets, comma, then assume that it is sold at book value. Okay? Second note. If no information is given, regarding intangible assets, then assume that it realizes nothing. Okay? Third, if asset is given against liability, if asset is given against liability, then no entry will be passed. Also in the same point, however, if any part payment is done in cash, however, if any part payment is done in cash, comma, then entry for cash payment will be passed. Okay, and what will be that entry? Entry for that cash payment? Realization to cash. Is everyone clear with this? Unlike tangible book value, intangible nothing. Okay, and assets against liabilities, no entry. Is everyone clear with this? Now take out your textbooks. I'll make you write the numbers in the order I discussed, and I want you people to write that entries in the order I made, discuss it with you in the homework notebook. And in the way I discussed it, in the same manner. Means in textbook it's very long entries which are given. You'll be writing it in brief as I discussed it. I'll discuss it, how to do that. You will understand. Like, look at page 280. Be attentive. Do you find at the top, realize page 280, 280. Do you find at the top realization to land, building, plant machinery, furniture and so on? Yes. On the left side, number it as 1. This is the first entry we shall pass. And you don't write this lengthy entry in the notebook. You simply write realization to assets. Understood that way? Below that, do you find bad debt reserve, depreciation, fund to realization? Number it as 2. Again, you write it in short as reserves against assets to realization. Next page, do you find creditors, bills payable, bank overdraft to realization? Number it as 3. And you will write in brief as liabilities to realization. Page 279. Page 279. Do you find the first entry reserves to partners capital? Number it as 4, and you simply write reserves to partners capital. Then below that, 5th, you write partners capital to fictitious assets. Understood that? Page 281, entry 4A, number it as 6, sale of assets, cash to realization. 4B, number it as 7, partners capital to realization. Okay? Did you all get that? Page 283, at the top, number it as 8, expense paid by the firm. Then below that, B1, number it as 9, and underline remuneration payable to partner. See, above that also underline, no accounting treatment is given if dissolution expense is to be borne and paid by the partner. I told you personally, expense paid by the partner, no entry. We have to pass the entry if we give him remuneration for paying the expense. Understood that? Then that second entry below, leave it pending. I don't discuss that right now. When we come across a practical question, directly I discuss. Because I have to make the thing simple for you, which I did by explaining you that. Here you pass 2 entries, and the next 2 simply reverse those 2 entries. So that when practical question comes, I'll explain you directly. Okay? Then previous page 282, 5A, marked as 10, liability paid by the firm. 5B, marked as 11, liability taken over by partner. Then page 284 at the top, profit and loss, both situations marked as 12. They are alternative situations. In realization, either you will have profit or you will have loss. Then previous page 283, 7th entry marked as 13, payment of loan, loan to cash. Previous page 283, 7th entry marked as 13. Okay? Then page 284, 9th entry, both of them marked as 14. Means current account will be closed and transferred to capital account. And 10th entry, both marked as 15. Partners capital will be closed and transferred to cash, and cash must carry. This 15 entries in your homework notebook, the way I discuss, in that order you write it down. And try to write that without seeing. If you remember that, the chapter is over for you. If you remember this 15 entries, the chapter is over. So tomorrow we'll take up this one long question. Okay? Bye everyone.